So first up on the chopping block tonight, we got Congress and Joe Biden. We talking about being free. We free-ish with Juneteenth being the national holiday now. And corporate America quickly follows after that. You know they was gonna follow after that. Thoughts?
Hey,
don't be mad at my uncle. That's my uncle.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, you can crack jokes. Listen, man. I think everything is funny, man.
Yeah.
I think they didn't have time. I think with the corporate thing, I don't think they had time to put anything out, right? They didn't have time to get anything together, to put any McDonald's commercials together or anything like that, right?
Not yet, but they was kind of doing a little bit of things on like some ads. But next year they're going full blast with the red, black, and green, vanilla, red, black, and green shakes. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna release the McRib on Juneteenth.
And the other thing that's important is I understand that Calvin is now a franchise owner. Y'all remember when Calvin started out?
Get out of serious?
No, but it would have been a good story.
What he's talking. Oh my God! Yeah, So, what y'all think about the Juneteenth with Biden and all these people signing?
Let me ask you a question. Right? It's a national holiday now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that means that basically the post office to be closed and stuff like that.
Yep.
We could take off and get paid if you got a job.
Oh yeah. Well,
okay.
you get holiday
pay.
Okay.
If you got a government job.
That's where I'm going. If you got a state or government job.
Correct.
But regular people ain't gonna get paid when they take the day off.
No, you are. I think you are because the federal is going to be
sure?
just like I think
no.
I don't think so, D.
No, what happens is the corporations or the businesses it's still up to their own discretion. It's still up to their own discretion whether or not they want to, whether or not they want to acknowledge it. But also the question is if you have a state job or a municipal job, you know what I mean? They also have to acknowledge it on the local level as well. But if you have a federal job, you're obviously you're
going to get the day off, and then
you're going to get the day off.
But I'm talking about regular people. Like, is anything in the bill that says a guy that works at Best Buy he can get the day off and get paid?
Producer Jamie says a floating holiday for most businesses.
Right, you can get that. They might, if they wish to acknowledge it, they may acknowledge it with a floating holiday or something like that.
But they have the choice.
They have a choice. Yeah, that's the point.
See, the thing is, that's where I'm going with this. You got to put something in the bill where they don't have no choice. You got to give it to them. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, we give you a holiday, but some people can choose not to pay you, and if you're not a state or government worker, then you can get paid. Yeah. Like I don't know, man. Like I want something that's guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you're never going to get that because
I know that.
Well, even because then you would make it over the other holidays because the 4th of July is a federal, but it's still not mandatory. Christmas, New Year's, all of this is still up to the employer. You know what I mean?
So explain to me what we're getting then. What are we getting?
No, you're just getting
that's what I think you're getting. You're getting up a symbolism.
Yeah,
it would have been policy changes and stuff and laws that we changed. Like why we have reparations up and stuff like that, and things like that. That should have been on the table. We talking about a holiday, so motherfuckers can.
The thing is, my point is, they giving you a holiday, giving you something on paper that, like I said, people still got discretion on, but they're not. And the thing is, to me, this is an admission of guilt, right? Basically, And then I noticed how Joe Biden phrased it. He said, "We're going to commend this holiday about history of America, not the wrongdoing of America, history of America." So the thing is, correct. You got to pay attention to the plays on words and the way they phrase things. So they're giving you a holiday. Okay, you got a holiday, but what are you getting? You know what I'm saying? So like I said, the average person doesn't work for the government, doesn't work for the state. We're talking about regular people that's going to work every day, may work in an office, may, like I said, work for Best Buy or whatever. Like, what is it going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, reparations is more important. Like I said, I'm pro reparations, but I don't think it's going to happen. No. And like I said, this is always this thing where you just sprinkle a little salt on things, just to spice it up.
It's similar. If they don't give reparations, can we get the anti-lynching bill?
They didn't give you that, dude. You see what he couldn't get that.
The one thing, I mean, somewhere along the line, we gotta be celebratory about this. A lot of people fought for this, and so there is, something to be said about acknowledge. I would have loved to have seen this come in under Obama, But I mean, you know, it is good that because there are some people. There's a lady I saw her, like 84 years old. She's been fighting to get this to be a holiday more of the better part of her life.
Somebody's
Symbols can be
background.
powerful too. Symbols can be powerful.
I just want to. I have one slight issue though. On another note, the guy that sold me this shirt said it was an original and nobody else had it. First of all, I'll have to talk to somebody about that. But no, I think it was a great step, especially for younger people and generations to come to see. And to me, I want banks closed and I want the post office closed. And if there's school, it should be out. And that's something that to me makes you that you're a nationally recognized holiday.
Remember Black Solidarity Day?
Yes, November.
Okay. Just disappeared, right?
Yep. Just went away. You're right.
Just went away.
Good
you know
point.
what I'm saying?
They did the same thing with the Miss Black Awareness pageant. You don't see that no more.
Yeah, but the thing is, like I said, I'm not knocking it. But the thing is, what is it going to do? What is it going to do for us as Black people? You know what I'm saying? Like the thing is, reparations will make change. Reparations could change the wealth gap, could get you to pass on generations of your family, your children moving on, moving up and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not knocking Juneteenth, but like, what is it going to do for us? They will give us something that seems to be shiny and pretty, but at the end of the day, it's not as shiny as pretty. It's like fool's gold. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like I said, I'm not knocking it. I'm glad they passed it, but the thing is, what is it going to do for us?
Yeah, so we got a few comments, y'all. Jamie, can you bring some of the comments back up real quick? You'll all give his day off.
Is it a paid day off?
Well, I got it off. My job, I was one of the leading people fight for Juneteenth before it became popular. Yeah. So we already had this done.
We're talking about people with with good jobs or whatever that recognize it. But I'm talking about the guy that, like I said, works at Best Buy, works in the office, works for a private company or whatever. They don't have to give them nothing, and there's nothing they're going to probably do about it either.
But one good thing about Juneteenth, it's my birthday. So every year I got a day off.
That would be your birthday, G.
That's right.
Next year I turn 50, Juneteenth. And what else? One more thing. I turn 50 Juneteenth, and it's Father's Day next year on my birthday. And I want to have a little person jumping out of a cake for my birthday for my 50th, out of the 5 and the 0. So I'm just telling you now, I'll be there.
You're gonna have a what jumping out your cake?
A little person. I like them little women with the big butts.
We'll never. I don't care if we get June, July, we ain't never getting nowhere.
Let's go.
Jamie, I said the right word. I didn't say the other word. I ain't say the M word. I didn't call it M word.
People don't do that no more, D. We don't
jump out of cakes.
Take little people and put them in cakes to jump out.
If she's a paid artist, adult dancer, I'm paying her for her services to jump out of my cake.
She's an artist.
She's
an artist. Okay.
Yeah, she's an artist.
I want to know who's gonna eat that cake after.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, speaking of Juneteenth, on the topic of Juneteenth, Brian Kemp blocks making Juneteenth a paid holiday for state holiday down in Georgia. Thoughts?
This is what I'm talking about. Like you got what's Brian Kemp, right?
Kemp, yeah, Brian Kemp. Yep.
That's Texas?
Is it Texas or Georgia? I thought it was Georgia.
No,
Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah.
All right, so he's
keeping. Yeah, that's the thing.
He's keeping it all the way white.
Yeah.
My question is, how did Mississippi let them beat them to the punch?
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
So Brian Kemp says,
Alabama to come
right. So Brian Kemp says in Georgia that he's not going to allow people to be paid on that holiday, correct?
Correct. That's what he's doing right now. He's trying to block it.
That's what I'm saying. What are they giving you?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, in certain states, the governor's in charge, right? Certain things they don't have to.
He didn't even like get a week. He did like the next day, like 24 hours. He did this shit. Like,
the governor is the president of each state.
But he's doing it. So state employees don't get it in Georgia.
Yeah. No, I mean that's
predictable. The usual.
But see, the thing is, the right wing, which Brian Kemp is, basically, they don't like to admit to that any how white America has done things in the past as far as history with black people. So they always trying to erase it. They always trying to act like it don't happen. So this is part of Mr. Kemp trying to erase history. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like I told you,
to teach their own history.
Yeah, correct. He's still continuing the Good Old Boy Network to be alive and well.
No, yeah, that's it. You know, it's the separation between federal and state. Mm-hmm. You know, like they always try to pass a federal a federal law, and what would the Republicans always say? Oh, that's a states' rights issue. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you already know. So even though that they can, they may acknowledge it federally, which is a nice little feather in the cap, a little, whatever, add a boy, pat on the back, whatever you want to call it. But it's going to be down to each state that's going to determine, whether or not they're going to, participate.
So other governors could follow suit if they wanted to.
Easily.
And then if other governors get elected, they can come in and make the change and not allow it to. So, like I say,
that's a good point. This is what Reese said. Sorry, not to cut you off. That's a very good point. Schools in the South are already open in May, so it doesn't really affect them.
Yeah, school. Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true. Thank you, Reese, for that.
And what would Juneteenth? If it was a federal holiday, does that mean that also means they wouldn't necessarily celebrate it on the day itself? It would be like maybe, let's say, because don't they usually do like the Monday or the Friday?
It depends on what day it falls on the week. If it falls on a Saturday, it's a Friday. If it falls on Sunday, it's a Monday.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And what if it lands in the middle of the week? Because it's always changing. So So I don't know how to figure it out. But
and since we're on politics, we had a mayor, the primary elections going on yesterday that's closed out, and some of it hasn't been settled. But right now, the clear leader right now is our brother Eric Adams. And the second, I think, is Maya Riley, and then that lady Garcia, I think Miss Garcia, and then I think punk ass Andrew Yang is conceded.
That's his name, punk ass Andrew Yang.
Conceded his dumb ass, opportunist ass, conceded yesterday. So, any thoughts on the election yesterday?
He tried to form an alliance at the end, and it backfired. And the funny thing was, he was like, I want anybody that's voting for me to pick her, I think the sanitation commissioner, as their second choice, and she, returned the favor, And Andrew Yang, to me, the more I heard him, the least impressed I was. Yeah.
Tell us how you feel.
Tiger, what up, Tiger?
Not wearing a tie when you ran for president, I just thought it looked bad, and I just don't. I don't get it. He definitely didn't impress. So I'm glad he's out of the way. And Eric Adams, first of all, let me say this. I can't say I was overly impressed with anybody in the field. I just think whoever runs for New York mayor just doesn't seem like this is a job a lot of people want for whatever reason. But Eric Adams, I think there's some good things. I do think ultimately he will be the mayor. And I think one thing he does care, I believe, about the city. And as Rodney knows, he's former law enforcement. So there's some things that he will be able to do regarding, the relationship with the community and the police. And hopefully he understands that we've lost, I believe they reported $34 billion worth of resources when a lot of millionaires and billionaires got out of the city during COVID. So I wish the best to Eric Adams, and hopefully they can get this process. I don't think anybody likes ranked choice voting, but hopefully they can get this underway and we can get a clear-cut nominee. And obviously, whoever it is going to beat the Republican candidate in November.
Well, speaking of, you said nobody wearing a tie. Curtis Sliwa won the Republican candidate. He's the leading Republican candidate, and he wears a red beret. Yeah. Imagine your mayor wearing a red beret every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually a raspberry beret, tell you the truth.
But Calvin, I do know of Eric Adams. I don't know him personally, but I used to work with his brother, and I was on the job when he was on the job. He's a retired police captain. I'm going to say that Eric Adams is kind of solid because, there were times where Eric Adams took the police department on head on. You know what I mean? Actually going up to the police commissioner's office, trying to get things done with the police commissioner or whatever. He was also the former president of the 100 Black law enforcement. So I can't say anything negative about him that I know of. I think he's a pretty solid dude. But like I said, I work with his brother. I know his brother personally. He was pretty solid too.
I would say this just as an outsider, live in Long Island, so I don't have a dog in the fight, but it seems New York City is whoever gets the job, they have to leave a city with a perception that it's in decline, as you alluded to before, Kelvin, billionaires and millionaires, they're leaving out of the city and frankly moving to Long Island, a bunch of them, so and right now the people who are still there seems to be the people who couldn't leave, that's just the way it seems on the outside looking in. So so yeah, whoever you get, man, they got their job really cut out for them, so
I wouldn't say they couldn't leave. I wouldn't say they couldn't leave. I think that he chose to stay for Eric Adams. I think because he's really a New Yorker at heart, originally from Queens, worked and lived in Brooklyn. I think he's just a New Yorker at heart. I think that to me he's a true New Yorker. So that's why I think he just loves his city. So I can't blame him from staying. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that. And I think that obviously you never count out New York City. It's just this is it's a worldwide pandemic. It's a blip. So we're definitely expecting a rebound, and whoever gets to be the man, during the rebound and who can orchestrate that, sky's the limit for them politically. So
one question I heard on Salad Radio, which I think was on the Clay King show, was a very, very good question. I wish Eric Adams would have came to the show. He asked the question: what two mayors would you most likely consider yourself like? Would you like? Was it David Dinkins? I like that question. If we ever could get Eric Adams on the show, Jamie, if you get Eric Adams on there, that's gonna be one of the questions. What two mayors would you pick from before that you would take something from? So I think it'd be because New York mayors have never lived up to its full potential. Not one of them. So they always drop the ball.
There's one thing I can also say about Eric Adams. Like, not only you can see that he understands politics, but he used to be former NYPD, so he knows all the NYPD's dirty little secrets. So the bottom line is there's a lot of things that he could possibly, like I said, sometimes when people get into politics, they change, but he can actually go in there and know what the problems are and actually has the ability to actually do something about it.
He may know where the bodies are buried, so to speak.
Well, he's going to know where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, he's a survivor of police brutality. One of my friends just texted me and told me he was born in Brooklyn, so he's that guy. So we definitely can rally behind him. One thing that disturbs me about the city, and I hate when people come from other cities and they come in. The first thing they tell me is New York is dirty looking. And it is. We got to do something about it. New York just looks dirty. It just looks grimy. I mean, you go to other cities, you go to Houston, you go to DC, these places look new, they look clean. New York just looks dirty. Somebody just need to come out there and just clean New York up.
We're an old city, and that's one thing. And then we have so many people on top of one another. So that's a little different. The density population. That's why the virus spreads, stuff like that. So, but I agree with you on the dirt. Like I tell my big son Chicken Wing, stop dumping all the time. But he can't resist. He's just ignorant as hell. But I love it.
The thing is, like, when I leave town, I always notice even people on the side of the road cleaning up or whatever. But you only need to see people in the Manhattan cleaning up walking around with those garbage cans and those brooms and those dustpans cleaning up, because that's where the tourists are. So they clean where the money's at, but they're not going to clean the outskirts because that's not where the tourists are going.
Yeah, exactly.
So all it's designed. It's about saving money, not giving people jobs, because you can have people out cleaning out all day in the city if you wanted to.
Exactly, especially people that do these crimes. They can pay back some stuff, some restitution. You don't even know the snow in the city. It could snow 10 inches today, and tomorrow you wouldn't even know it snowed in Manhattan.
Yeah, and if you notice something too, you remember, like, if we have a big snow, what do the sanitation do? They hire people just for like a day or two to go shovel out the curbs and stuff like that. But and after that, they're basically unemployed again. The city needs a lot of cleaning.